The evening sun was setting slowly over the city park, painting the sky in soft shades of orange and pink. Sofia Ramirez walked quickly along the path, tired from a long shift at her second job, eager to get home to her 6-year-old daughter, Mia, waiting with her elderly neighbor. Sofia was a curvy, hard-working single mother, raising Mia alone after her husband left years ago without warning or explanation. Life had been difficult since then, juggling 2 jobs just to cover rent, groceries, and Mia's school expenses. Despite the constant financial struggle, Sofia remained determined, refusing to let hardship break her resilient spirit or her genuine kindness toward others. As she cut through the quiet park, taking her usual shortcut home, something caught her eye near an empty bench beneath a large oak tree. A sleek, expensive-looking leather briefcase sat alone, seemingly forgotten by whoever had been sitting there just minutes earlier. Sofia paused, glancing around the empty park curiously. No one was nearby, no rushed businessman running back to retrieve a forgotten item, no obvious owner in sight. She approached carefully, examining the briefcase closely, noticing its expensive leather material and polished silver clasps, clearly belonging to someone with significant wealth. "Hello," she called out softly, glancing around once more. "Did someone forget this?" Silence answered her, the quiet park entirely empty except for distant birds calling from nearby trees. Sofia hesitated only a moment before carefully picking up the briefcase, deciding she couldn't simply leave something so valuable exposed and vulnerable in an empty park. She quickly made her way to a nearby bench, sitting down carefully with the briefcase in her lap, uncertain exactly what to do next. She considered taking it directly to the local police station, but something made her pause, curiosity mixing subtly with practical concern about the mysterious owner's identity. Carefully, she opened the briefcase's silver clasps, intending simply to search for identification or a contact number inside. What she found immediately made her breath catch sharply in surprise. Stacks of neatly arranged cash filled one side of the briefcase, more money than Sofia had ever seen in one place in her entire life. Beside the cash, she noticed several official-looking documents, folders marked with company names she didn't recognize, and a sleek, expensive smartphone, its screen suddenly lighting up with an incoming call. Sofia stared at the screen nervously, watching the phone vibrate insistently in her hands. The caller ID simply read RC. She hesitated, uncertain if answering was wise, but her curiosity and practical need to identify the briefcase's owner eventually won out. "Hello," she answered cautiously. There was a brief pause on the other end before a deep, commanding voice spoke clearly. "Who is this? Where did you get this phone?" "I found a briefcase in the park," Sofia explained quickly, her voice steady despite her nervousness. "This phone was inside. I'm just trying to return it to its rightful owner." Another pause followed, longer this time, as if the man on the other end was carefully considering her words. "Where exactly are you right now?" he finally asked, his tone measured but clearly tense. Sofia hesitated, uncertain about revealing her exact location to a complete stranger, especially given the large amount of cash she had just discovered. "I'd rather not say exactly," she replied carefully, "but if you tell me how to safely return this to you, I will." "Smart," the voice replied, sounding slightly amused despite the underlying tension. "There's a business card inside the briefcase, front pocket. Look for the name Rafael Castillo. Call that number, arrange somewhere public and safe for both of us. I'll make it worth your while." Sofia glanced quickly through the briefcase's front pocket, finding the business card exactly as described, embossed elegantly with the name, Rafael Castillo, alongside an address for what appeared to be a legitimate business office downtown. "All right," Sofia said cautiously. "I'll call that number soon to arrange the return. Please, be careful with that briefcase," the man added seriously before ending the call abruptly. Sofia sat quietly on the park bench, staring thoughtfully at the phone and the elegant business card in her hands. She had no idea who Rafael Castillo truly was, nor the danger and complications that name represented in the city's hidden underworld. All she knew was that returning this valuable item honestly was clearly the right thing to do, despite her own financial struggles and the obvious temptation the cash represented. She carefully closed the briefcase, tucking it securely under her arm, before continuing quickly toward home, her mind racing with curiosity about the mysterious stranger she would soon meet. That evening, after tucking Mia safely into bed, Sophia sat quietly at her kitchen table, staring at the briefcase resting innocently beside her. She thought about the ease with which she could simply keep the cash, solving many of her financial struggles instantly. But something deep within her refused to consider such dishonesty. Her strong moral compass, guiding her firmly toward honesty, despite the tempting circumstances. The following morning, gathering her courage, Sophia dialed the number listed on Rafael Castillo's business card, unaware that this single, honest decision was about to dramatically change the course of her entire life. The phone rang twice before a smooth, professional voice answered. Castillo Enterprises. How may I direct your call? Hello, Sophia said, gripping the phone nervously. My name is Sophia Ramirez. I found a briefcase last night that belongs to Mr. Castillo. I was told to call this number to arrange returning it. There was a brief pause, followed by hurried whispering in the background before the voice returned, suddenly more urgent. Please hold one moment. Meanwhile, across the city, inside a heavily secured office building, chaos had been unfolding since the previous evening. Rafael Castillo sat behind his desk, his expression tense, while his men scrambled around him, searching desperately for any leads on the missing briefcase. Sir, we've checked every camera near the park. Diego, his trusted second-in-command, reported anxiously. No clear footage of anyone taking it. If this falls into Vargas's hands, he'll have enough evidence to destroy everything we've built. Rafael rubbed his temples wearily, the stress of the situation evident on his usually composed face. The missing briefcase contained sensitive financial documents, evidence of a secret business deal that, if exposed to his rival Vargas, could unravel his entire organization's careful balance of power. Just as tension reached its peak, his assistant rushed in excitedly. Sir, a woman just called, says she found the briefcase. She wants to return it. Raphael's eyes sharpened immediately. Get her on the phone. Now. Moments later, Sophia found herself speaking directly with the same deep, commanding voice from the previous night, now clearer and more focused. Miss Ramirez, Raphael said seriously. Thank you for calling. I need to know immediately, is everything still inside the briefcase exactly as you found it? Yes, Sophia confirmed honestly. I didn't take anything. I just want to return it to you safely. Relief was evident in Raphael's voice, though his tone remained cautious. I appreciate your honesty, truly. Would it be possible to meet somewhere public today? I'd like to personally thank you and ensure everything is accounted for. Sophia agreed, and they arranged to meet at a quiet cafe near the downtown business district that afternoon. She dressed simply but neatly, carrying the briefcase carefully as she walked into the cafe, her nerves building with each step. Rafael Castillo was already seated at a corner table when she arrived, flanked discreetly by two men who remained respectfully at a distance. He stood immediately as she approached, his sharp, expensive suit and confident posture immediately signaling wealth and authority, though his expression carried genuine warmth as he greeted her. Miss Ramirez, he said, extending his hand politely. Thank you for coming. Of course, Sophia replied, shaking his hand briefly before sitting down across from him, placing the briefcase carefully on the table between them. Raphael opened it quickly, his sharp eyes scanning through the documents and cash carefully, visibly relieved to find everything intact exactly as Sophia had described. Everything's here, he said, genuine surprise evident in his voice. Every dollar, every document. Do you understand how rare this is, Miss Ramirez? Most people would have kept the cash, disappeared without a second thought. Sophia shrugged modestly. It wasn't mine to keep. I just did what felt right. Raphael studied her carefully, intrigued by her simple honesty in a world where he typically encountered greed, manipulation, and hidden agendas at every turn. Your honesty is rare and valuable, Miss Ramirez. Please, allow me to reward you properly. He reached into the briefcase, pulling out a thick stack of cash, sliding it across the table toward her. Sophia's eyes widened at the substantial amount, more money than she typically earned in several months combined. I can't accept that, she said immediately, pushing the cash back gently. Returning your briefcase was simply the right thing to do. I don't need a reward for that. Raphael raised an eyebrow, clearly unaccustomed to such refusal. Most people wouldn't hesitate to accept this kind of reward. I'm not most people, Sophia replied simply, meeting his gaze directly, her quiet confidence clear despite the obvious gap in their financial situations. Raphael leaned back thoughtfully, studying her with newfound curiosity and respect. May I ask what you do for a living, Miss Ramirez? Sophia hesitated only slightly before answering honestly. I work 2 jobs, cleaning offices during the day and waitressing evenings. I'm raising my daughter alone, and money is admittedly tight, but that doesn't change what's right. Raphael's expression softened slightly, clearly moved by her genuine honesty and quiet resilience. You're a single mother, working 2 jobs, and yet you refuse an easy reward that could significantly help your situation? Money isn't worth losing my integrity, Sophia said firmly. My daughter deserves better than a mother who compromises what's right for quick, easy gain. Raphael nodded slowly, genuinely impressed by her strong character. He considered his next words carefully, sensing an unexpected opportunity in this chance encounter. Miss Ramirez, he said finally, I run several legitimate businesses besides other matters. I could use someone with your honesty and work ethic in one of my companies. Steady salary, benefits, stability for you and your daughter. Would you consider it? Sophia blinked, surprised by the sudden, unexpected offer. She studied Raphael carefully, sensing genuine sincerity behind his words, yet also aware of subtle danger hidden beneath his polished, confident exterior. I don't even know exactly what you do, Mr. Castillo, she said honestly, or why you needed armed men searching a public park for a lost briefcase. Raphael's expression flickered briefly, aware she had noticed more than he intended to reveal. Some matters, he said carefully, are complicated, but I promise you, the job I'm offering is entirely legitimate, safe, and secure. Sophia hesitated, torn between caution and her family's pressing financial needs. Something about Raphael Castillo intrigued her, despite her instinctive wariness. I'll think about it, she said finally, standing to leave. Thank you for the offer, Mr. Castillo. As she walked away, Raphael watched her thoughtfully, already sensing that Sophia Ramirez's honesty and quiet strength were about to change far more than just her own difficult circumstances. Sophia walked home that evening with her mind racing, replaying every detail of her strange meeting with Raphael Castillo. She couldn't shake the feeling that there was far more to him than the polished businessman persona he presented. The armed men keeping careful distance at the cafe, his obvious relief at recovering sensitive documents, the mysterious phone call the previous night. None of it added up to a simple, legitimate business owner. Yet his job offer lingered persistently in her thoughts. Steady salary, benefits, stability for Mia. Things Sophia had struggled to provide consistently, no matter how hard she worked at her 2 exhausting jobs. That night, after putting Mia to bed, Sophia sat quietly at her kitchen table, staring at the small business card Raphael had given her before she left, his personal number written carefully on the back. What do you think, baby girl? She whispered softly, glancing toward Mia's closed bedroom door. Should Mommy take a chance? The following morning, after another exhausting shift cleaning offices, Sophia's phone rang. It was Raphael. Miss Ramirez, he said politely. I wanted to follow up on our conversation yesterday. Have you given any thought to my offer? Sophia hesitated only briefly. I have some questions first, Mr. Castillo. What exactly would this job involve? Administrative work, Raphael explained smoothly. Managing schedules, organizing paperwork, coordinating with clients for one of my legitimate real estate companies. Nothing complicated, and certainly nothing dangerous. And the other things? Sophia asked carefully. The things that are legitimate? There was a brief pause on the line. That's not something you'd ever need to be involved with, Raphael said firmly. I keep my legitimate businesses completely separate from other matters. You'd have no direct involvement with anything beyond simple office work. Sophia considered his words carefully, weighing the obvious financial benefits against her lingering uncertainty. Finally, thinking of Mia's future, she made her decision. "All right," she said. "I'll try it. But if I sense anything dangerous or dishonest, I'm walking away immediately." "Fair enough," Raphael replied, satisfaction evident in his voice. "Come by the office Monday morning. I'll have everything arranged." That Monday, Sophia arrived at Castillo Enterprises, an impressive glass building downtown, nervous but hopeful about this unexpected new opportunity. Raphael greeted her personally, giving her a brief tour of the modern, professional office space before introducing her to her new role within his property management team. The work itself was straightforward: scheduling property viewings, managing client paperwork, coordinating maintenance requests. Sophia adapted quickly, her natural organizational skills and strong work ethic immediately apparent to her new colleagues. Over the following weeks, Sophia settled comfortably into her new position, genuinely grateful for the stability it provided her small family. She noticed Raphael occasionally passing through the office, always polite, sometimes stopping briefly to check on her progress, his manner respectful and professional despite his obvious position of power. One afternoon, while organizing files in a rarely used storage room, Sophia stumbled upon an old locked cabinet, slightly ajar due to a broken latch. Curiosity getting the better of her, she peeked inside, finding folders containing property deeds and financial records connected to businesses she didn't recognize from her usual daily tasks. Flipping through curiously, she noticed strange patterns: properties bought and sold rapidly, unusually large cash transactions, connections to shell companies with vague, unclear ownership structures. Alarmed, she quickly closed the cabinet, her heart pounding nervously. That evening, walking home, Sophia couldn't stop thinking about what she had discovered. She had seen enough news stories, heard enough rumors about businessmen secretly running illegal operations behind legitimate fronts to recognize the warning signs clearly. The next day, gathering her courage, she decided to speak directly with Raphael about her discovery. "Mr. Castillo," she said carefully, finding him alone briefly in his office. "I found something yesterday. Files in a storage cabinet, records that seemed unusual." Raphael's expression shifted instantly, cautious and controlled. "What exactly did you see?" "Property records, financial documents that didn't quite make sense," Sophia explained honestly. "Look, I'm not trying to pry into your personal business, but I need to know exactly what I'm involved with here. I have a daughter depending on me." Raphael studied her carefully, clearly weighing how much truth to reveal. Finally, he sighed heavily, gesturing for her to sit down. "Sophia," he said quietly, using her first name for the first time, "I won't insult your intelligence by denying what you likely already suspect. My family has been involved in certain complicated businesses for generations, businesses outside the boundaries of typical legality." Sophia's breath caught, her suspicions confirmed directly. "You're involved in organized crime," she said quietly, not really a question. "Yes," Raphael admitted honestly, his voice steady despite the serious admission. "But your position here, the work you do, remains completely separate and legitimate. I promise you that." Sophia sat quietly, processing this serious confirmation, torn between genuine fear and the undeniable financial stability this position had already provided her family. "Why are you telling me this so honestly?" she asked finally. "Because you've proven yourself honest and trustworthy from the very beginning," Raphael said sincerely. "You returned my briefcase without hesitation, despite the obvious temptation. You deserve honesty in return, especially regarding something this serious." Sophia studied him carefully, sensing genuine sincerity despite the dangerous truth he had just revealed. "What happens now?" she asked cautiously. "That depends entirely on you," Raphael replied honestly. "If you wish to leave, I'll understand completely and ensure you receive proper severance and a strong reference. But if you're willing to continue, I promise your role will remain safely separate from anything dangerous." Sophia hesitated, torn between fear and practical necessity, considering carefully the genuine stability and opportunity this job represented for her daughter's future, despite the unsettling truth she had just learned about her employer's hidden world. Sophia sat quietly for a long moment, weighing everything Raphael had just revealed. The rational part of her mind screamed to walk away immediately, to protect Mia from any possible danger connected to this powerful, complicated man. Yet the practical reality of her situation, steady income, benefits, a stable future for her daughter, made the decision far more difficult than it should have been. "I need time to think," she finally said, standing up carefully. "Of course," Raphael replied, respect evident in his voice. "Take whatever time you need. Your position here remains secure regardless of your decision." Sophia walked home that evening lost in thought, replaying the conversation over and over. That night, after Mia fell asleep, she sat quietly at her kitchen table, staring at bills spread out before her. Rent, Mia's school supplies, the persistent car repair she had been postponing for months. Practicality won over fear. The next morning, she returned to the office and told Raphael she would stay. Over the following weeks, Sophia grew more comfortable in her role, her initial unease slowly settling into cautious trust. She noticed Raphael's genuine care in small, consistent ways, quietly ensuring her workload remained manageable, asking after Mia's well-being, occasionally sending home extra groceries through his assistant when he learned Sophia had skipped lunch to save money. One afternoon, Raphael stopped by her desk, holding a small wrapped gift. "For Mia," he said simply. "I heard from Diego's wife that she loves drawing." Sophia stared at the gift, touched by the thoughtful gesture. "You didn't have to do that." "I wanted to," Raphael replied simply, before walking away, leaving Sophia with warm, confusing feelings she wasn't entirely ready to examine closely. Despite the growing comfort and stability, an undercurrent of tension existed constantly beneath the surface of Sophia's new life. She noticed occasional tense phone calls Raphael took privately, hushed conversations between Diego and other unfamiliar men, security measures around the office that seemed excessive for a simple real estate business. Meanwhile, in a rival organization across the city, a dangerous man named Emilio Vargas grew increasingly frustrated. He had been searching for weeks for concrete evidence against Raphael's operations, evidence that had briefly, tantalizingly existed within that missing briefcase. "The woman who found the briefcase," Vargas said coldly to one of his men. "Find out everything about her." Within days, Vargas's men had traced Sophia's identity, her address, and her new position within Castillo Enterprises. Vargas smiled coldly upon receiving the information. "Rafael Castillo trusts her enough to hire her directly," he mused. "Interesting. Perhaps she knows more than she should. Or perhaps she's simply the perfect way to finally get to him." That evening, as Sophia walked home from work, she noticed an unfamiliar car parked near her apartment building. Two men sitting quietly inside, watching carefully. A cold chill ran through her body, though she quickly told herself it was likely nothing, simple coincidence. The following day at work, Raphael called her into his office, his expression unusually serious. "Sophia, I need to tell you something important," he said carefully. "We believe Vargas, a rival organization leader, may have discovered your connection to the missing briefcase incident. It's possible he's watching you now, hoping to use you against me." Sophia's heart dropped. "Watching me? Why would he do that?" "Vargas believes you might know something valuable, information from those documents," Raphael explained grimly. "Or he might simply see you as leverage against me, knowing I've taken a personal interest in your safety." Sophia felt a chill of genuine fear. "My daughter," she whispered. "Is she in danger too?" Raphael's expression hardened with protective determination. "I won't let anything happen to either of you. I'm assigning additional security around your home immediately, and I'd like you and Mia to consider staying somewhere safer until this situation is fully resolved." Sophia's mind raced with fear and uncertainty. "This is exactly what I was afraid of," she said quietly. "I never wanted this kind of danger anywhere near my daughter." "I understand," Raphael said gently, genuine remorse evident in his voice. "And I take full responsibility for placing you in this position. I promise you, I will resolve this completely, whatever it takes." That night, walking home nervously with heightened awareness of her surroundings, Sophia picked up Mia from her neighbor's apartment. her heart pounding with anxious fear for her daughter's safety. As she unlocked her apartment door, she noticed a small folded note slip beneath it. Her hands trembled as she opened it, reading the brief, chilling message. "We know what you found. Stay quiet, or your daughter pays the price." Sophia's breath caught sharply, panic flooding through her entire body. She immediately called Raphael, her voice shaking uncontrollably. "Raphael," she said urgently. "Someone left a threatening note at my door. They mentioned Mia directly." Raphael's voice turned instantly serious and alert. "I'm sending men to your location immediately. Don't leave your apartment. Lock every door and window. I'm coming personally as well." Sophia held Mia tightly, her daughter sensing her mother's fear despite her attempts to remain calm. "Mommy, what's wrong?" Mia asked innocently, her small voice filled with confused concern. "Everything's going to be fine, sweetheart," Sophia whispered softly, though her own heart pounded anxiously, fear and uncertainty swirling dangerously as she waited nervously for Raphael's protection to arrive, painfully aware that her family's safety now depended entirely on a dangerous world she had never intended to become part of. Within 20 minutes, the sound of multiple cars pulling up outside Sophia's apartment building brought a mixture of relief and renewed fear. She peered carefully through the window, spotting Raphael stepping quickly from his car, flanked by several armed men who immediately began securing the perimeter. Sophia opened the door cautiously, Mia clinging tightly to her side. Raphael entered quickly, his expression a mixture of controlled anger and genuine concern. "Are you both all right?" he asked urgently, kneeling briefly to Mia's level with a gentle, reassuring smile before standing to address Sophia directly. "We're okay," Sophia said, though her voice trembled slightly. "Just frightened. The note, Raphael, they know where we live. They mentioned Mia by name." Raphael's jaw tightened, fury evident beneath his controlled exterior. "This ends tonight. I won't allow Vargas to threaten an innocent child to get to me." "What do we do?" Sophia asked, fear still evident in her voice. "You and Mia are coming with me. Somewhere secure immediately," Raphael said firmly. "I have a private property outside the city, heavily guarded. You'll be safe there while we resolve the situation completely." Sophia hesitated only briefly, glancing down at Mia's frightened face, before nodding in agreement. Within the hour, they were safely relocated to Raphael's secure countryside property, guards positioned carefully around the perimeter, Mia finally settling down to sleep in a comfortable guest room upstairs. Once Mia was safely asleep, Sophia joined Raphael in a quiet sitting room downstairs, both exhausted from the tension of the evening. "I'm sorry," Raphael said quietly, guilt heavy in his voice. "I never intended for my world to threaten your family this way." "I know," Sophia replied softly, surprising herself with her own understanding despite the danger surrounding them. "But we need to end this, Raphael. Permanently. I can't live like this, constantly afraid for Mia's safety." "I agree completely," Raphael said, his tone resolute. "Tomorrow, I intend to confront Vargas directly, end this rivalry once and for all." Before Sophia could respond, Diego entered urgently, his expression grave. "Sir, we have a problem. It appears someone within our own organization has been feeding information to Vargas." Raphael's expression darkened immediately. "Who?" "We're not entirely certain yet," Diego admitted. "But evidence points toward Manuel, one of our newer security hires. He had access to Sophia's personnel file, her address, everything Vargas would need." Raphael's fists clenched with controlled fury. "Find him. Immediately." Diego nodded and left quickly, leaving Raphael and Sophia alone once more, the weight of betrayal adding further tension to an already dangerous situation. "Even within your own people," Sophia said quietly, "you can't fully trust anyone." "It seems that way," Raphael admitted grimly. "But you, Sophia, despite everything, have proven yourself entirely trustworthy from the very beginning. That matters more to me now than ever." Sophia looked at him carefully, sensing the genuine sincerity behind his words despite the danger surrounding them both. "What happens now with Manuel with Vargas?" "Manuel will be dealt with appropriately," Raphael said simply. As for Vargas, tomorrow I intend to end this rivalry completely, one way or another. The next morning arrived tense and quiet. Raphael prepared carefully with Diego and his most trusted men, planning a direct confrontation with Vargas at a neutral location arranged specifically for negotiations. Before leaving, Raphael visited Sofia and Mia one final time. "Stay here, stay safe," he told Sofia gently. "I promise I'll return once this is resolved." Sofia nodded, though worry was clearly evident in her expression. "Please be careful, Raphael." Raphael offered a small, reassuring smile before departing with his men, leaving Sofia anxiously waiting, Mia innocently unaware of the serious danger unfolding beyond the safety of their temporary shelter. At the arranged meeting location, an abandoned warehouse outside the city, tension filled the air as Raphael and Vargas faced each other directly, their respective men positioned cautiously nearby. "Castillo," Vargas said coldly, "I assume you're here to negotiate the return of your reputation." "I'm here to end this," Raphael replied firmly. "Leave Sofia and her daughter alone permanently, or face consequences you won't recover from easily." Vargas smiled coldly. Bold words, considering I still have the leverage of knowing exactly what she saw in those documents. "She saw nothing incriminating," Raphael said calmly, though his tone carried a clear, dangerous edge. "And even if she had, threatening an innocent woman and child crosses a line even in our world, Vargas. Something even your own men might hesitate to support." Vargas's expression flickered slightly, uncertainty briefly showing beneath his confident exterior. Before he could respond further, gunfire suddenly erupted from a nearby rooftop, catching both groups completely by surprise. Chaos broke out instantly, both sides scrambling defensively as unknown shooters targeted them from a hidden position. Raphael quickly realized this wasn't Vargas's doing. Someone else entirely had orchestrated this deadly ambush, someone hoping to eliminate both rival leaders simultaneously. "Get down," Raphael shouted, pulling Diego behind cover as bullets rained down around them. In the chaos and confusion, it became immediately clear that a third, unknown player had entered the dangerous game, someone with motives far more sinister than either Raphael or Vargas had anticipated, someone determined to see both organizations destroyed completely, regardless of the innocent lives caught dangerously in the crossfire. Gunfire echoed through the abandoned warehouse as Raphael and Diego took cover behind a stack of old crates, while Vargas and his men scrambled for their own protection nearby. For a brief, chaotic moment, former enemies found themselves unexpectedly united against an unknown, deadlier threat. "Who is this?" Vargas shouted across the warehouse, ducking as another round of bullets struck the crates near him. "I don't know," Raphael called back honestly, "but whoever it is wants us both dead." Diego, staying low, quickly scanned the rooftop position where the shots originated. "Sir, I count at least 3 shooters. This was planned carefully." Raphael's mind raced, quickly piecing together the situation. Only someone with detailed knowledge of this secret meeting could have arranged such a precise ambush. Someone leaked this location, he realized grimly. Someone wanted both organizations weakened or eliminated entirely. Vargas, despite his rivalry with Raphael, understood the same logic. "A third party," he called out. "Someone benefiting from our destruction." Working together out of pure survival instinct, Raphael's and Vargas's men coordinated defensive positions, eventually managing to identify and neutralize the hidden shooters through careful, combined effort. Within 20 tense minutes, the ambush was finally stopped, several attackers captured for questioning. Under interrogation, one wounded attacker revealed the shocking truth. Manuel, the traitor within Raphael's own organization, had been secretly working for a rising, ambitious criminal named Esteban, who sought to eliminate both Raphael and Vargas simultaneously, planning to seize control of the entire city's underworld for himself. Manuel wasn't just working for Vargas, Diego said grimly, once the truth became clear. He was playing both sides, feeding information to Esteban as well, hoping to profit from the chaos of our mutual destruction. Raphael's fury turned cold and calculated. "Find Manuel and Esteban immediately. This ends today." Within hours, Raphael's men, now temporarily cooperating with Vargas's own forces due to their shared betrayal, tracked down both Manuel and Esteban's hideout. A quick, decisive confrontation followed, ending Esteban's ambitious plot permanently and exposing Manuel's full betrayal clearly. With the true threat finally eliminated, Rafael and Vargas reached a cautious, practical understanding, rivals still, but no longer locked in violent, immediate conflict, with Sofia and Mia finally free from any further danger. Exhausted but relieved, Rafael returned to the countryside property later that evening, finding Sofia anxiously waiting by the window, relief flooding her face the moment she saw him step safely from the car. "It's over," Rafael said simply, walking toward her. "Truly over. Vargas is no longer a threat, Manuel's betrayal is resolved, and the real danger, someone else entirely, has been eliminated as well." Sofia's eyes filled with tears of genuine relief. "You're safe," she whispered, stepping closer. "We're all safe now," Rafael said gently, reaching for her hands. "You and Mia can finally live without fear." Sofia looked up at him, gratitude and something deeper evident in her tired eyes. "Thank you, Rafael, for protecting us, for resolving this danger, and for being honest with me from the beginning, even when the truth was difficult." Rafael studied her carefully, his usual guarded composure softening completely. "Sofia, from the very moment you returned my briefcase, refusing the reward I offered, I recognized something rare and genuine in you. Your honesty, your strength, your unwavering integrity despite your own difficult circumstances. It changed something in me I didn't realize needed changing." Sofia's breath caught softly at his sincere words. "What are you saying, Rafael?" "I'm saying," Rafael continued gently, "that somewhere along this dangerous, complicated journey, I've fallen in love with you, Sofia. Not just your honesty, but your strength, your resilience, and the genuine warmth you've brought into my life, along with Mia's innocent joy." Tears slipped freely down Sofia's cheeks, genuine happiness replacing the fear and uncertainty of recent weeks. "I feel the same way," she admitted softly. "Despite everything, despite the danger and complications, I've grown to care for you deeply too, Rafael." Gently, Rafael reached up, wiping her tears away tenderly before pulling her into a warm, comforting embrace. They stood together quietly, finally feeling safe and secure after weeks of danger and uncertainty. In the months that followed, life gradually settled into peaceful stability. Rafael ensured Sofia and Mia's permanent safety, while continuing to build his legitimate businesses more prominently, gradually distancing himself from the more dangerous aspects of his family's past. Sofia continued working alongside him, her honesty and integrity becoming a genuine influence on his approach toward both business and life. Mia flourished in her new, secure environment, quickly growing fond of Rafael, who treated her with genuine warmth and care, gradually becoming an important, loving presence in her young life. One quiet evening, sitting together on the porch of their new shared home, watching Mia happily draw pictures nearby, Sofia leaned comfortably against Rafael's shoulder. "Do you ever think about how differently things could have turned out?" she asked softly. "If I had simply kept that briefcase, or ignored it entirely?" Rafael smiled gently, pulling her closer. "Every single day, that single, honest choice you made changed both our lives completely, for the better." Sofia smiled warmly, genuine happiness and contentment finally replacing the exhausting struggles of her previous life. "I'm glad I made that choice," she said softly. "I'm glad I found you. And I'm endlessly grateful you did," Rafael replied warmly, gently kissing the top of her head as they watched Mia's joyful laughter fill their peaceful, secure home. From that day forward, Rafael Castillo was no longer known simply as a feared, powerful mafia boss, but privately, quietly, as a man who had finally found genuine happiness, security, and love, all because a curvy, honest single mother had chosen integrity over temptation on one unexpectedly life-changing evening.